This is the Elated Egos Podcast with your hosts, Micheal and Ray. Our special guest for this week is Adrian. This week's topic is high school, that easy part of life filled with assholes, homework, and rebellion. Welcome to the Ego.
Chicken nuggets and french fries and barbecue sauce, steak and ribs, and that's about it. That's all I eat. Actually, now I changed my diet, though.
Well, you're trying to stay healthy now.
Yep. I probably have fast food like once a week now.
Okay, so for today's podcast, it's our first podcast ever. We are going to do a simple topic, high school. We're all high school seniors. We're all a bunch of dumb kids, and we love life. So let's get started on that. Let's talk a little bit about our high school, Clear Lake High School down here in Texas, the shittiest state besides Florida and Mississippi. What do you guys think about our high school?
I was locked in a closet once.
That's true. Could you talk about it?
I had an Asian teacher, and I made an Oriental joke, and she said, "Get the hell out of my classroom," and I was like, "No, I don't want to," and then some kids said, "Dude, okay, you know what, when she's not looking, just go in the closet," and then I went in the closet. I wouldn't let her open it, because I was like, there was like handles inside there, and so my friends, they decided to they got a belt and just locked me in there, and I was in there for a while, and the teacher let it happen. Yeah.
What class was this?
I don't remember. I was like really high.
Good point. Adrian, anything weird that has happened?
I was locked in Jose's closet.
You were locked in Jose's closet. Alright. What about inside school?
Inside school. I don't know. I have a lot of weird stories inside school.
Just say one. Just to open it up.
One of my weirdest stories would have to be in Dr. K's class for physics. This was last year. Me and Raymond were up fucking around.
As always.
And somehow his feet were on my shoulders. His back was on his desk. It just looked weird already. And Dr. K just looks at me and goes, "Raymond, take off your hat." And just sat back down on his computer.
Yeah, I just had my beanie on because it was cold outside because, winter. And I'm just, straddled, doing a handstand on the goddamn desk with my legs around Adrian's head like some weird porn thing. And all he cares about is my hat. I don't understand why. Maybe because I was smarter than him. One weird story for me, back in 9th grade, there was this one kid, his name was Isaiah, and he talked so much bullshit. He lied about everything. He said he would get, pounds of weed for people, and he was constantly high.
I remember him.
Yeah.
We had English together.
Yeah. And one day, he says he's taken something. I don't know what the fuck. I think he was faking it. He probably just, popped an ibuprofen and lied about that shit. But he just starts acting like he's frozen, like he's a statue. He's just there. All he can do is move his eyes. His lips quiver a little bit. And he's like, he can't really even talk. And it's really weird. Sorry if you're getting some weird sounds. We're recording in a forest right now, and it's fucking beautiful here. But back to the story. He's just there, and me and my buddy Nathan and a couple other guys, we're just like, what the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening? He's just staring there, standing still. And then, after 20 minutes, he's like, "Yo, man, I just went into, a dream state. It was really fucking weird, man. I was, fucking the teacher, man. And, our teacher was old and kind of gross."
Was it Miss,
I don't want to say the teacher's name, so. But it was, an older teacher back in 9th grade. And, me and Nathan were just like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? I mean, he eventually disappeared off the face of the earth, and he lied about everything. But that was a really weird experience, him telling us that he basically had mind sex with our teacher. Yeah, so those are some little weird stories that we got.
That's what me and Max said when we, tripped acid together. We had mind sex.
Yeah, mind sex is weird. I wish I could have.
I
some
can't
more
say
mindsets.
that. I can't say that out loud. Like when I try to talk about it with people, they're like, "What the fuck, are y'all gay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not gay."
It's just mind sex, man. As long as say no homo and you just look at each other into the eyes and cross your fingers, it's okay. Just a little bit of mind sex. All right. Let's get it on a little bit more serious thing about high school, like the more the necessity, the societal necessity for high school. Like, as much as kids hate it, and as much as we look at it as like, oh, this is a fucking waste of time, we kind of need it. We really do need high school, and it does prepare us for the future, but not in the way that we think it does. Like, the way high school prepares us is that it shows people, especially employers, because they're trying to get a job later in life, is that you can do something and you can do it well, and it doesn't matter what it is, but you can still do it. You can adapt to a situation and you can thrive in that situation. That's why we are taught so many weird different classes that we see like, oh, this is useless. Why do I have to take 2 years of Spanish? I'm going to be living in the United States all my life. Or stuff like, why do I need to take a speech class? I'm never going to be talking to people like that. I'm going to be working at a desk on my computer, on Reddit when my boss isn't looking and shit like that. So, but the idea of high school itself is to prepare people with a multitude of abilities to be able to adapt to different situations. And most teenagers aren't really able to see past that. But it's really a very important thing. Now, could high school be way better? I think yes. What do y'all guys think?
I think, like, when people say, like, we're not even going to learn this in high school, well, I'm like, well, see, like, the reason why you're in high school is not just to, like, learn stuff. I mean, you're in high school to get somewhere. It shows, like, if you're dedicated to do your work, you're probably dedicated enough to do college. But, you'll really see a fine line for people who, like, say, I don't see the point in doing this. I'm never going to have to do this in the real life, so why should I do it now? And then those people are the ones who usually don't get far in life because they just don't want to do something.
Yeah, very true, very true. I mean, if you're going to give up on one simple little thing and, get a 0 for it or get a 30 for it because you only did, like, 4 questions on it or 4 parts of the assignment, I mean, it shows that you're lazy and that you're not actually willing to be a good part of this world.
I mean, unless you have, like, another goal in life, like, let's say you want to be a drug dealer. I mean, some drug dealers can eventually make good money, and they just don't see high school as a thing. I mean, just might as well drop out, though.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
there's
there's certain things in life where if you pursue a certain career, and usually it's the illicit careers like drug dealing
or maybe you invented something,
gang banging. But yeah, I mean, there are certain places where there's people who just they have a natural knack for something, and high school is actually a setback. But those people are very, very rare. And Adrian is bleeding from his foot right now because he's not wearing shoes in a forest with broken glass because Adrian's an idiot. I just want y'all to think about that right now. Just a little moment of silence for Adrian's stupidity.
A little violent thing.
Alright, that's long enough. Alright. But yeah, like, people who show potential in high school are going to do good later in life, and there's people who don't succeed in high school because, 1, they don't see the further purpose of it, or 2, they have opportunities later in life or somewhere else in life that doesn't involve the educational system.
Or they just get, like, really distracted. Like, for instance, my friend Noah, I mean, he doesn't care about school.
No, he doesn't. He's a dropout waiting to happen. I'll be surprised if he makes it through the year.
He just likes to party and have fun. Well, see, me, I mean, I want to party. I really do.
It's
there's
fun.
always the temptations for me to go. But I keep telling myself, I'm like, don't have fun until you're old enough to. Until you can afford to support your habits. Till you can do the things you want. Like, maybe go to Italy and get drunk as shit there and have fun with a couple of friends. But you can't do that if you're partying in high school already and failing classes and just not caring.
Yeah.
So now I just have to really focus. And I wasn't like this until about this year, really.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I've kind of learned in high school is that there's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's kind of an old saying, and I think it was also like a South Park joke. Like, there's a time and a place for everything, and it's called college. Like, that was an old South Park joke. But it's kind of true. Right now, for us young developing minds, we need to focus on, learning how to adapt to situations so we can be prepared later in life. And we need to be studying now, and we need to be performing great right now so we can either go to college or to a trade school, or we can jump right into a career. So, I mean, you can't just be like, oh, I want to, have straight A's and shit, but also get drunk and high all the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
very few people are able to do that.
Very few people are able to do that, and the people who are able to do that, it's because they know time management. Like I myself, I do like to indulge into my senses of the drogas because they're fucking amazing. But the thing is that I don't let it get to me. I try to limit myself to at most once a week, but right now I haven't done anything really in 2.5 to 3 weeks. I don't remember which though, because I need to focus on my studies right now.
Is it big?
I think Michael got some poison ivy on him. Yeah, we're recording in the forest, as we already said, and because none of our houses were really available for recording, which kind of suck. But
But I like nature, so
yeah,
okay.
Nature's cool. We should all just drop a bunch of ayahuasca and just go to the forest.
That sounds amazing.
It sounds pretty amazing. For those who don't know ayahuasca, it's the cure to everything, according to all hippies. But yeah, we're getting a little off topic. Back to high school. But yeah, I mean, high school is a necessary thing. Let's go more into the components of high school, specifically teachers. And
God damn it.
Teachers fucking suck. But some of them are good. But I have a little factoid that I became prepared with. And this is from a federal survey that is required of all teachers, or required of all public schools to do. And this paper is called The Education and Certification Qualifications of Departmentalized Public High School Level Teachers of Selected Studies from 2011 to 2012, that study year. And there was just a huge wasp that just walked by all chill like. That was pretty cool. Alright, so basically this survey, or this part of the survey, it goes into a lot further detail online, and you can look it up. I mean, I just gave you the name of the paper, but this is just an overall thing. And what this survey does is that it finds out what percentage of teachers majored in what they're teaching, what percentage of teachers didn't major, how many percent of those teachers are actually certified to teach in that field, and how many are not. So let's go through some of the things. Of the English teachers surveyed, there was 152,000 teachers. Only 79% of them actually majored in English. 20% of them did not, or 21% of them did not. And only 82.1% of all those English teachers are actually certified to teach English. On to math, 149,000 teachers were surveyed. Only 70% majored in mathematics.
Wow.
With 30% not majoring in mathematics. And only 80% of the total population of mathematics teachers were actually certified to teach math. In the sciences, like biology, chemistry, physics, and stuff like that, only 79.7% of teachers actually majored in science, which is very worrying. 20.3% didn't, and only 85.7% of teachers who teach science are actually certified to teach a science class. For the social sciences, like geography, history, economics, and government classes, of the 120,000 teachers that were surveyed, 78.9% of them actually majored in a social science.
I don't think Coach Minzy did, one of my teachers.
Yeah. My AP econ teacher never took an economy class in in college.
I think Miss Jordan was one of the English teachers who didn't do anything.
Probably.
But I love Miss Jordan. She's my favorite.
So is Coach T.
Yeah.
But
I don't like Coach T.
Alright, okay, on to 21.1% of them didn't major in a social science, and only 82.9% of the total social science teachers are actually certified to teach it. So those are the 4 core classes or the 4 core subjects that every high school is required to teach. You gotta take your 4 years of English, you gotta take your 3 to 4 years of math, you gotta take your 3 to 4 years of science, and you gotta take your 3 to 4 years of social sciences. It's a requirement. And the fact that between 80 to 85% of teachers are actually certified to teach, meaning 15 to 20% of them are not, That's an extremely worrying statistic. It's crazy to think about all the teachers that, one, didn't major, didn't study that topic in their in their college. They didn't put their main focus on it, and the amount of teachers that aren't even certified to teach it. Like, I can't believe we even allow this here in America.
Yeah, really.
It's fucking bullshit. And you can see it with some teachers. You can be like, oh yeah, like, as I said earlier, my AP Econ teacher, she never took an economics class in college, and it shows. This is her second year teaching AP Econ, and she's trash at it. I mean, I enjoy the teacher. She's a good person in real life. She's a weird, like, conservative hippie person, but she's a good person. She just can't teach. But she can teach history. She's a good history teacher. So, it's weird. What are y'all guys' opinion on this?
Well, it kind of scares me sometimes because, like, what if, like, a teacher went to school to become a certain profession and he or she goes to get a job at a school, and someone who hasn't went to go get that certain profession, or went to school for that certain profession she has, and the one that's trying to get it is like, well, what the heck? I went to school for this. She didn't even really go to school for that. Like, what? That's not fair to me.
Yeah. I mean, but I was just thinking, like, these are just blanket numbers, and some of these teachers may have never majored in that field.
Unless it's like regular, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
It's regular. Like
regular teachers are regular.
But like an AP or
Pre-AP.
might even a pre-AP, depending on what subject.
If it's a college level class,
Yeah.
like, it needs to have a major.
Yeah.
That person needs to know the class and to understand it completely.
Yep.
I mean, we see that with, like, at our high school right now, a lot of people are struggling in these two math classes specifically, pre-calculus and statistics. One of them is treated as a regular class, even though it is an advanced math, and the other one, statistics, is treated as an AP credit. The thing is that last year, there was this coach who was teaching statistics, who took statistics in high school. He took it for 2 years, or sorry, not high school, college. He took it for 2 years in college. And he actually knew the stuff, and he kind of knew how to teach it. He was struggling a little bit because it was his first time teaching it ever, and he moved away. But his class was relatively easy, and you could understand the subject. They brought in this new teacher who was teaching another math class the year before. They brought her in since the coach moved to a different school, and she's terrible at teaching. She contradicts herself constantly. She's bad at giving out notes. She's bad at giving out lectures, and her online notes for you to study at home are completely inconsistent, and it's unacceptable in my opinion. Like, this is a class that people get college credit for, and if it's someone who cannot teach a college level class, they don't deserve to work. You know?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Completely.
And the same thing with pre-cal. The pre-cal teacher is terrible too. She doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't understand the mathematics herself. She's just not good. You know? I mean, what do y'all think about this?
Well, like, it's like I said before, like, it's just, there's more than likely there's somebody out there that has the education for it, their job, and it's just, I guess the school's not wanting to look for somebody that's actually certified. I think the school should maybe have, like, not just a complaint box, but just, like, an overall, like, see, like, with social media, like, if someone doesn't like anything, they just go down and comment their opinion on it. And a lot of people get offended by those comments, but it feels like my YouTube channel, I take my comments seriously, and if they're right, they're right. I can't justify myself if I'm wrong. I better improve on what they're downing me on.
Yeah.
I feel like school should have something sort of like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real complaint system among students besides, students just talking to each other and then the occasional complaint to a parent.
Yeah.
And what's a parent going to do? Call up the school, and they're just going to be shut down immediately unless the entire school body of parents is just like, yo, we need to get rid of this asshole because they're fucking shit. I mean, this might happen to one person that is in the athletic department soon because he's not very good at what he does.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Michael knows who I'm talking about. I don't want to give out any names, but that person is not very loved. And he's kind of a nepotistic asshole.
I hear he just sits in his office all day and waits around and then comes to yell at y'all and let the other coach do all the work. And he's not even like the head coach.
Kind of. There's part of that. He doesn't give a very head coachy vibe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not in football. You are.
Yeah. I mean, you haven't played football in 3 years.
Oh
so.
God, I don't even want to.
And when you were in football, you didn't have the same experience because freshmen were separated from the sophomore, juniors, and seniors, which I think is an okay thing because freshman football is completely different from junior varsity football and varsity football. And like, I remember playing freshman year, and it still felt like intermediate football. It still had that same kind of kiddish vibe to it. And then moving up to the next level to junior varsity, there was a lot more seriousness to the game, and you actually had to dedicate yourself to the game. It wasn't just a thing that you did at the end of the day.
Yeah, I remember like freshman and 8th grade. It was fun to me. I didn't take it seriously at all. It was just kind of fun to hang out with friends, play football.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. If I would have stayed until junior, I'd probably got taken it a lot more serious.
Yeah.
I should have played. I could have taken somebody's spot.
Yeah.
I really could have.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy how things are. I mean, going from freshman year to sophomore year to junior year to senior year. We're all seniors here, as I stated before, so we understand pretty much the entirety of the high school experience, at least from our perspectives. Since we've only been to one high school, all of us. But we have friends that go to other high schools, so we kind of understand that it's relatively similar all around. So yeah, I mean, I would say freshman year, it was a very weird year for me. I mean, I had a lot of my ideals set already from intermediate school, just from like listening to people and going on the internet, which the internet raised me basically. I feel like the internet had more of an impact on my life than my actual parents.
Yeah,
did.
me too.
I mean, but that's just this generation.
Yeah.
But like in 9th grade, I had my ideal set, and I like going into it, I was like, "Oh, this is just intermediate school all over again," and it kind of was 9th grade year.
Yeah.
I mean,
with intermediate, I always saw like people always just trying to act older, and like high school, you really get to see that. Like middle school, you know how like everybody was occasionally a dick for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And just a little bit more childish and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, you're just not mature.
Because like from elementary, you want to be like the bigger kids, and then like usually the bigger kids were mean to you. Well, occasionally, sometimes they weren't, but a lot of the times there were people like "get away, kid" or something like that. They'd say that. So as soon as you get to middle school, you think you're hot shit. So you'll start being a dick back to people. Like I was a dick for a little while. And then I got into high school, people just stopped caring completely. They're like, okay, who cares about being a dick and whatnot? They just care about further things, like adults like to go out, have drinks with each other, kind of have fun, and that's what's... In high school, people go out and party and whatnot, drink, get high and stuff. I mean, not too wrong with that. It just depends on what you want in life, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like each level of school is trying to emulate the next level.
Yeah. Right.
Like as Michael said, when you're in a little babby in elementary school, you try to emulate to be a teenager. You try to emulate to be an older person, and that you're, I mean, elementary school isn't the easiest time. Children are absolute shit. I'm going to regret when I impregnate a woman and have children, but I'll probably still love them.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I just want to point out, although high school, I've never actually been to a party or gotten drunk. Proud of myself.
Yeah, Adrian is the only exception here. I've been to 3 parties. Yeah, I've only been to 3 parties, and they were all freshman year. Michael's been to a couple parties.
Yeah.
Adrian's never gone to a party. I don't think Adrian's ever been intoxicated. Have you?
No.
Yeah, Adrian is our he's our sober noble right now. Me and Michael are terrible sinners. We're gonna go to hell. It's gonna be really fun. Gandhi's there.
Gandhi, I can't wait to meet him.
I know, right?
Gandhi and Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
Wait, so you really ever gotten intoxicated before? Wow.
Learn new things every day.
We're gonna have to change that, Adrian.
No. We're not forcing anything upon
willingly.
Adrian.
You have to be willingly.
I have to willingly.
We'll all
take
stuff and come here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with that.
Are you really gonna drive here?
Yes.
I mean, I'll be real right now. I'm slightly intoxicated.
From what?
I took some extra pseudoephedrine to help clear out my nose and some dextromethorphan for my cough. And I took it at a dose to where it's just below threshold, so I can talk a little bit easier.
I'm like a little, because of last night, but just a little.
You got a little messed up last night, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you're responsible.
Exactly.
Blah, blah, blah.
It was just, to go to bed.
This is a different topic for a different podcast. I feel like we'll get to this one in a few weeks. Back to the bullshit high school experience that is the greatness and also terrible. Our next little thing I think we should talk about. 1 second. Like what do you think we should add to high school?
Add to high school?
Yeah. What should we get rid of from high school, and what should we add to high school?
Okay, I'll think of other things, but one thing is definitely the food. I never eat school food. It's not because I am very picky, but it's not because it's just like completely horrible. Some people eat it. It's also just because of my diet. I really don't know what's in the food. I really don't.
I mean, I'd say the big problem with school food is that it's not the healthiest stuff. I mean, you might be at a nice school,
like
that
private
can
school.
afford, actual nutritional shit that will, promote a healthy lifestyle, but that's not our school. And we're an academic school.
We have Cokes
Yeah,
in
my
our
little
vending
sister,
machine.
she goes to a private school and they sell like Coke and everything.
Yeah.
Not like Coca-Cola. That is.
But like food, I think food is a very important thing. Like the shit they serve at our school is pretty terrible. It's all overpriced, and I think you can see that across the nation.
It is.
Like the food we have here, I can go to the restaurant that I work at and I could get it for half the price for more food.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous. And the restaurant I work at is a relatively expensive fast food joint compared to like McDonald's or Burger King. I don't even know if Burger King's around anymore.
Yeah, it is.
It
There's
is?
a couple.
Okay.
They have chicken fries. Those are like amazing.
Okay. I haven't had their food in years. It was
Like
trash.
The chicken and the fries are like, fuck.
Just something I was thinking about is that we should kind of change our language program.
Remote or just English?
English. Well, actually, both, in my opinion. I think we should add something to our foreign language, but I'll get to that in just a minute. I think we need to change our actual English system, like how we teach English, at least at our school, is that we focus a lot on literature.
Yeah.
And I think, it's cool to read if you like reading, and I don't mean like reading like just reading in general. I mean like actual literature. If you enjoy British literature, love it, go read it, have fun with Canterbury Tales or whatever. I don't really care.
One thing I hated really a lot was during the STAR test we had
STAR tests are the state tests here in Texas.
The writing part, I suck at writing. I cannot write a story or to save my life. I really can't. Yeah. I could write a resume and like things you would probably need in the future. Yeah. But writing a story, I can't. And I hated how they made us write stories. I really did.
That was more of our tax test, though.
Yeah.
Our tax test was our state test before they implemented the STAR test, and the STAR tests I believe are better because they focus more on like actual writing skills.
Yeah.
Than what the tax test focused on. And the tax test, like for the English one, the main thing was they would give you a prompt and they would be like, okay, write a story about the time you felt regret, or write a time that you were really angry, or something like that. I mean, it was usually a little tiny bit more complex than that, but not by much. It was a very open-ended question, and you had to write a story about something.
Yeah, and I can't write stories. I can write an expository essay or a persuasive because I have information to write about. And I love to give my opinion on things. But like with the story, I can't tell a story to save my life.
Not all of us are novelists.
Yeah.
Very few people are novelists, and that's why you only know of the Stephen Kings, the Michael Crichtons, the whatevers. Because I mean, I'm not a big reader. But not everyone is going to become a novelist. Not everyone has that skill to just write about their life story in a way that's entertaining, in a way that's going to give them all the points on a state test. And what the tax test failed in, the STAR test kind of helped with, which was is that it focused more on your ability to read information and then write about that information. But still in the Texas curriculum, it still focuses on, hey, read this literature from 500 years ago, and you better know it all for this test, and you better understand what this one vocabulary word is that you'll never use again in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of goes back into how we opened up the podcast, like, hey, you need to be able to adapt to different situations. But in this case, I don't feel like it's really good. I don't feel like it actually prepares people for the future. Exactly. Because people in the future aren't going to be reading about a story and then having to understand that story in a way that they can just, tell it back to you backhand. I mean, I'll be honest, I do not care about the story of Beowulf, which we just read in our English class. But, I mean, if you like Beowulf, you can go ahead and read it. I think we should be more focusing on how to write persuasive essays and how to write expository essays.
Right.
Which is what the STAR test tries to aim for, but within the Texas curriculum, it still doesn't push for that.
Like, to me, like a story, like just a regular random story, is just like something you should do in your free time.
Yeah.
Like, everybody enjoys a good book. It's just like not everybody's good at writing them.
Yeah. And that was a problem with a STAR test.
And then, like, an expository and, like, a persuasive, you see them all the time, like, on the news and everything. It's something that's actually, like, needed, everything.
Yeah. And then on to other language, your foreign language, or how it's called in Texas, a language other than English, your LOT, because, PC terms, because for some people, Spanish is not a foreign language to them, it's their native tongue. But I think we should add computer languages into our language other than English, like JavaScript, CC+, like coding languages. Because those are languages with their own grammatical ways of speaking. And I think doing that for a language credit would be a lot more helpful than, taking Latin. I mean, I see the only reason to take Latin is if you're gonna go into a scientific field like biology or something,
Or to sound cool.
To sound cool, but
That's all I
When you say computer language, I just picture a computer and a computer like talking to each other.
I mean, computers do that already, though.
They're like, "Hey man, what's going on? What's going on, man?"
Yeah.
Computers are really fascinating.
Yo, Mac, you a hoe. Shut the fuck up, Windows. But I feel like we should incorporate that into our language program because, it is a language, and I think it's going to prepare us more for the future than if a person, takes 2 years of French that they're going to begrudgingly do because, they're more interested in a computer than they are into, that was a terrible French.
And one thing I do not like about, like, other languages they teach in school, my stepdad took 3 years of Spanish.
And so did I.
Right after, when he was, like, 25, he told me he thought about it one day because he was talking about it with one of his friends. He says he remembers, like, just maybe, like, 2 words, but those are, like, common words in Spanish.
Yeah,
like,
same for me.
It didn't sustain at all.
Yeah, I myself took 3 years of Spanish. A year in 8th grade, a year in 9th grade, a year in 10th grade.
Yeah.
My 10th grade teacher for Spanish 3, she was not really the best teacher. And I ended up, because we didn't talk in Spanish a lot, because we really didn't have that set up from the prior 2 years, is that I lost a lot of Spanish over the course of my 3rd year of learning Spanish. I forgot a lot of things, like how to correctly use verbs, correctly understand situations, and my reading comprehension in Spanish was quite terrible. It was frustrating, and now when I try to sound funny and speak a little bit of Spanish, I struggle because I don't remember it. I mean, it's very much a case of you either use it or you lose it.
Yep.
And foreign languages, sure, it'd be cool if you knew how to speak a foreign language, but you're not going to learn a foreign language in an American school system.
Yep.
You have to be placed in a situation where you are forced to speak that language. If you want to learn Spanish, you better move to Ecuador. Like, for real. Or you better lock yourself up in a fast food restaurant kitchen.
Or, like, every day, just listen to Rosetta Stone, like, 24/7.
Yeah. And practice day after day after day. And the school system doesn't allow that.
No. Especially, like, for regular. It's
Yeah.
It's like teaching
That's
Yeah,
why you
she
take
did.
American Sign Language.
Yeah, American
Yeah.
Sign Language. If you guys just are really hating Spanish and it's like maybe your first couple of years you're taking it and you just can't get it, go to American Sign Language. It's English but in fingers, so it's a lot more. It's a lot easier to understand it. Like I passed out with A's the whole year, and I feel like I haven't done anything. I remember, and you know what the thing about it, since it is English, you remember a lot more of sign language. Like I haven't taken it in 2 years, and I still remember a good amount of sign language.
Yeah. But the thing about sign language is that it's not just reading and writing. You're using your hands.
Yeah.
And it's more of a physical thing that your brain can remember easier. Back when I lived in Las Vegas, when I was a little babby in 1st and 2nd grade, it was a requirement that we learned sign language, like, throughout elementary school.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I remember little bits and pieces, very, very little. I remember airplane because
Why-
you have to
why
use
was
your
that? Why would
middle
y'all-
finger. Why did we? I don't know. I was a little baby stupid person.
I just heard people laughing over there.
Oh, that's there's people who kayak on the river.
Okay.
So you probably just there's a weird phenomenon where on water, if you make sound, it sounds louder across the water and onto land.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nothing, Michael. I doubt the mic even took it up. But like at my school, like we went to class once a week and we learned new sign language things. Now I don't remember very much of it because I only went to the school for about a year and a half, and I was a stupid little child and I didn't remember very much. But I think we should actually incorporate that into all elementary schools and even into middle school and high school. I think that learning basic sign language would actually be a really helpful way of communication with each other. Because, it sucks yelling at people across the room, but if you sign something, it's easier to understand and you don't have to yell.
Especially if you're like taking a test, like when a teacher, you want to ask her a question without disturbing class, just raise your hands up and speak to her.
Yeah. Like, I think that would be a more beneficial way of communication across distances or being silent, and I think it's something that all, at least Americans, should learn.
And it's easy to learn. I like that.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
Like, I could probably start learning sign language soon, and I've been kind of wanting to, but I always put it off because life, you know?
Yeah.
Us humans understand that. But yeah, like, Adrian and Michael right now could have a conversation in sign language. Y'all wouldn't even know about it.
Exactly. I wouldn't disturb the podcast.
It's like ninja language, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's easy to understand. So yeah. Anything else y'all think we should like add to high school or remove from it? Adrian?
I don't know.
No idea?
No.
I was thinking we have too much administration stuff in high school. Don't y'all?
Yeah, I think there should be rules for the teachers.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, I feel like they get a little too power hungry. Like, I have to, like, there was, like, a time where I had to go piss. And she told me, no, she wasn't even teaching. She said, no, she went at the beginning of the class. I'm like, what is the problem with letting me go pee? Literally, if I go pee, nothing's going to happen. My grade won't drop. You won't be, like, nothing is going to change. Like, nothing, the world won't explode if I go pee. I just want to go pee. I have to pee.
Yeah.
And she just wouldn't let me go. And I'm like, I really feel like you're just saying no because you have the power to say no. It's not communism, okay? We're America. If I truly wanted to walk out the class and go pee, I did. But it's okay because, like, I went home and I was like, my teacher didn't let me go pee. And my mom called the school and she came up to me and she's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you had to go that bad. I was like, I was sitting there, like, holding my crotch, just, like, freaking crying almost.
I think she just backpedaled because she got caught with her pants down.
Yeah, and
being
so
an asshole.
my mom yelled at her and was like pissed because I almost like pissed my pants on the way home. So she called her, and then the teacher came up to me and she's like, if you ever really need to just go, just don't ask any questions, just go. And I'm like, okay, all right, but you should have just said no in the first place because like I don't see what would have happened if you said yes. I just don't see it. She wasn't teaching. She was just sitting there and she said, nope, you should have went at the beginning of the class. Okay. Or before the class. So I think there should be a little bit more rules. Just a little bit.
Yeah. That kind of reminded me of something, when you said communism and shit. Just thinking about, like, these stupid school rules about, like, hair and clothes that you wear. Like, there's a lot of people who go to high schools where a dress code is a uniform with a tie or just this weird school polo that they have to wear with a certain type of jeans, and they have to be clean, and they have to, clean your clothes, but still, like, they have to be in a certain way, or else, it looks bad on you, and you can get suspended and shit for that. And I think that's completely unacceptable, especially for a public school here in America. But, like, I find it ridiculous how these administrators across school districts find themselves being like, oh, you can't have hair like this. Oh, you can't wear a shirt that says obey on it because it has some further political meaning that they don't actually understand.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that, because it's a little ridiculous because, we still have the First Amendment here in the United States.
And I really do not like how they, not a lot, but some of the southern schools still, like, have religion-based schools. Like, public schools. Like, where they still pray
those are charter schools down in, like, Louisiana. I find those to be completely unconstitutional, but no one's doing anything. We don't live in Louisiana, so we don't get, like, a first-hand account, but we do understand that there are schools out there that are basically Christian schools, publicly funded. This is more of a Louisiana thing, and, fuck Louisiana. They're a terrible place. I'm sorry if you live there. You need to get out if you have any sense.
The rest are just gonna get pissed.
I don't care.
Yeah.
If you live in Louisiana, I think you understand that your state's kind of bad for certain reasons.
Yeah.
Like
my teacher coach. Oh no, I'm not gonna say anything. But he always talks to me about how we were raised on Christian beliefs. We were started from. Okay, I can get that. Are you
talking about the nation itself?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can get that, but it's not like that anymore. We're too much of a world power, and like all the immigration and everything. No one's gonna be the same religion, not in the slightest bit anymore. You can't do that.
And the fact that this nation actually wasn't founded on Christian
values. That's what he said. He was
he's partially wrong, and we're gonna start a flame war in the comments,
which
I always love. We'll save that for another day.
Yeah.
We'll just tease you guys just a little bit teasing, I like to tease you right before the bed. Oh yeah. But yeah. Oh no, there's ants all over my kolaches. Damn. Oh well.
If you don't want it, I'll eat it still.
I know you will, and I still will too. But I kind of lost track of what I was gonna say. Damn it. Oh yeah. About like clothes and stuff. Like I remember back in 9th and 10th grade, Obey Clothing, the clothing line or whatever, with the hats and the shirts and stuff. They were becoming really, really popular, and the teachers were just like, no, we can't do it. It's like some type of political thing. And then, like, yeah, sure, it does have some political roots inside of it. But at the end of the day, it's a shirt that has a word on it. And if a shirt that has a word on it is going to crumble the entire school system, we need to, like, change something about the school system, or we need to get rid of people who are oversensitive about stupid little things that affect absolutely
and like
nothing.
Really think about it. You think the kid that's wearing the Obey shirt, because I know people who wear Obey type of shirts, and I guarantee you they do not care a thing. They don't care or even bother to listen to politics or even care about politics. They don't. They like the fashion of it. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't see any deeper meaning into a shirt other than it's just a cool looking shirt.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the reason we wear the clothes that we wear is because we like those clothes.
Yes.
We don't understand any deeper meaning that maybe the designer wanted to put in it. I mean, right now I'm wearing a shirt that has turtles on it. Do you know why I'm wearing that shirt? Because I fucking love this shirt. I love turtles. They're kind of fucking cool, you know? I don't know if the person who designed this shirt has some deeper meaning to the shirt. Like, oh, we need to save the turtles. Oh, blah, blah, blah. But, like, I'm wearing the shirt because it's cool. And, you know, what if the school saw turtles as a bad thing and they banned all of the turtle shirts? That's just as ridiculous as banning a shirt that has the word obey on it.
Exactly.
Any thoughts, Adrian?
Move your plan.
I know.
I just got a bag.
Adrian's been very quiet the entire podcast.
I just got a bag.
It's
got a jet upgrade to it.
Ooh.
Noah's got an ET upgrade.
He can fly on it too.
Ooh, we can fly on it.
Yeah. It up until recently, I just found out ET is nothing more than clay and chicken wire.
Don't say that. It's not true.
I didn't know that. I didn't know. I found out my childhood was ruined. I'm like, Steven Spielberg, why?
No! Stop
I wanted to watch
ruining
2001 yesterday, but no one wanted to.
I would have.
It's just a good movie to fall asleep on, isn't it?
It is a good movie.
Have you watched it yet?
No, I just know it's a good movie.
Great movie.
Oh.
And Max hates it. I don't even know why.
Max is weird. Alright, let's just face it. On to our next thing. Let's talk about extracurricular activities. Like dancing and arts and football and shit like that.
And a so-called life. You know, one thing about life to me is when people say get a life or you have no life, that's not true because, okay, let's say someone plays hockey 24/7 all the time, and people could say he doesn't have any party because he's just so dedicated to hockey, and people will tell him, oh, you don't have a life, you should get a life. His life is hockey.
Yeah.
Somebody could be obsessed with video games. Their life is video games. You can't say they don't have a life. It's a little demeaning and rude. I hate when people say that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, well, your life is so... Whenever somebody says I don't have a life to me, and I see the type of person they are, like, let's say they go party and stuff, I'm like, okay, I know your type of person already. Your life is completely different than mine, and there's nothing wrong with that. Your life is to go party and get high and fuck everything. I mean, I could see 100 billion reasons why that's wrong, but I don't feel like wasting my time with someone as stupid as you calling me or telling me I have no life. So most of the time I just kind of listen, or actually no, I do not like to be stepped on. I like to step on people. Not necessarily retaliate is what I agree on. I can't stand it because back in the day when I was like, people would say stuff, talk down to me and everything, I wouldn't say anything because I'm not confrontational, but I am not like that anymore. I do not let anybody talk shit down to me, ever.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, really.
I think we hit a little bit of a nugget of your personal feelings.
Yes, we
with
did.
that. We didn't even get into the actual topic yet.
The chicken nugget.
Little chicken nuggets. Little chicken nugget of happiness. But yeah, I completely agree with that, Michael. It's, people telling each other that they have no life because they've actually dedicated their life to something else.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. I hate that.
Yeah. Like, I can say I've dedicated my life right now to learning about pharmacological substances. Drugs is the street term for all you cool.
The weed dictionaries.
The weed dictionaries, your urban encyclopedia.
That's how I knew Raymond. I was like, I wanted to figure out about a drug. I'll just go ask Raymond.
Yeah.
He's the weed dictionary.
Yeah.
Or not weed dictionary.
The drug encyclopedia.
Yep.
But like I'll be honest, I've kind of dedicated part of my life to that because it's a part of the world and the part of human biology that has completely captivated me in like my enthusiasm and my wonder about the world. And I'm planning on pursuing a career in pharmacology after I serve my time in the military. Like, I'm going to go into the military and I'm going to try and see if I can get a pharmacological job there working as a tech on a ship or at a base. But if I can't do that, then I'm just going to study the pharmacological sciences in college afterwards. And I'm already getting a head start. I'm learning organic chem on my own. I'm learning how pharmacological substances work on the brain and throughout the human body through what receptors they work on or what enzymes they inhibit or induce. This is a part of my life that I am very dedicated to because it's probably the most interesting thing in the world to me. And there are people out there who would look at that and they'd be like, oh, he's just a fucking nobody drug person. Oh, he just wants to get high all the time. No, I don't want to get high all the time. I like sobriety. I very much enjoy sobriety, but I also enjoy not being sober too.
Right. It's always fun to just kick back in a while, just like say like you just had a...
You gotta relax.
Yeah.
You gotta unwind. There's nothing wrong with going home after a fucking hard-ass week of work and school or whatever combination of crazy shit your life has, and there's nothing wrong with, drinking a beer or two for most people, or for me, getting a little bit of weed out and just relaxing.
Exactly. And I think I'm probably one of the only ones that actually smokes weed to just forget, because whenever, like, I have a mind that when I'm stressed or like just something's bothering me, I will not stop thinking, and I won't sleep. But as soon as I take a puff or something, I just forget and I don't care.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I really liked about it, weed. You just stop caring.
For some people, it helps them just get through the end of the day.
And the thing about...
In the same way, some people just, they'll have a glass of wine or they'll have a glass of scotch on the rocks to just help them unwind at the end of the day because their life is stressful.
Yeah, it's like my nana. Every day she has a glass of wine just to
relax.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And like, I'm in a sports program. I am a football player on the varsity team. Third string, motherfuckers. Yeah, I'm trash at the position I play, but I'm starting on special teams, which is the only part of football I actually really enjoy. There's something really fun about sprinting down a field and laying a motherfucker out. I love special teams. But there's a lot of focus on the coaches about, like, you should stay away from all drugs are bad. If you even look at a picture of a cannabis plant, you're going to go to hell and that your entire football career is over. That's completely wrong, and all my friends can tell you that. They all know the kind of shit I've done in the past. They all know the kind of stuff I'll probably do in the future. And they look at me and they understand, wow, this kid is fit as fuck and he knows how to be safe.
Yeah.
Like, not to brag, but I'm about to brag. I have a six-pack. I have some pretty nice biceps, triceps, and quads.
9 times out of 10, if Raymond's at his house, you knock on his door, he's going to have his shirt off.
I don't like shirts because, they trap my pecs and my traps and my delicious abules.
Same here.
Yeah.
Them abules.
Yeah. Bro. I mean, Adrian is six-pack galore also. I'm kidding. He's a little bit of a chubby dude, but Adrian...
Oh, okay.
Adrian is more fit than me. That's the thing. Adrian can do more push-ups than me. Adrian can run longer distances than me. Adrian has better stamina than me. But he just has a better body. He has a different body type. My body type is skinny, no fat, and I can perform for short periods of time. Adrian has a bit of a fatter body type, but he can perform for long periods of time, and he's probably going to be wonderful to his future wife or husband.
Too wonderful. Remember, you got to add a little bit of salt. No one likes just no salt. Remember,
Right.
you have to have a little bit of sodium.
Just
every once in a while. Shut up. Every once in a while.
Once a year, you just hit her. Get all the salt done at once.
Oh, yeah. The Elated Egos Podcast does not condone the beating of women, unless they deserve it.
Unless they deserve it. Unless it's in, like, self-defense. Like, maybe you're getting, like, beat up or something.
But if you're a man getting beat up by a woman, come on.
Hey, if Ronda Rousey came up here and she kicked your ass, are you going to be like, oh, come on, man, come on.
I would not hit her back. I'd be like, just fuck me already.
Just pull out your penis and fuck me.
Choke me, fuck me, pull my hair back.
Just pull out your penis and fuck me.
Yeah. Ronda Rousey, could you please just... I'm just going to bend over, take my pants off, fist me, no lube, alright? Just do it.
Oh my god.
The rougher the better. Alright?
Just straight...
Just Falcon punch my asshole, alright? But... Oh, man, we got really off topic. But, like, extracurricular stuff. As I said, I'm a football player, and I find football to probably be the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. Michael, please stop breaking that glass bottle. We can hear it. It's probably the greatest thing I've ever done to help me grow as a man. It's helped me understand what being a team is like and what loving another man is like. And not in, like, the gay way, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes on Tuesdays, I gotta suck a little bit of dick.
Oh my god.
But...
Gotta make that money.
Gotta make that money. Adrian knows.
Yes.
But, like...
Put it back on it.
Yeah, whatever. But, like, the love I have for my teammates... It's unrivaled by anything in this universe besides the love that I have for my girlfriend. Like, it's the only thing that even comes close, or it's just slightly above it. Or my love for my girlfriend is just slightly above the love for my teammates. And I love my teammates more than anything else in the world. I mean, I care more about the people that I play with than my own parents. And that might sound like a terrible thing, but that's just the type of person I am. I care more about those people than my actual well-being. I will take a bullet for those men. I will risk my own life so they'll be safe because they matter to me. They're the most important group of people in my life right now. And I know I sound pretty like gay and kind of, stereotypical, like, oh yeah, people who love each other, team.
But I mean, it's all perspective.
But it's my perspective, and it's true for me. I love my teammates.
And like one thing I hate about perspective, you think you're 100% right, but the same person or the other person also thinks they're 110% right. Also.
Oh yeah.
So that's what really taught me about perspective. Like when I'm trying to voice my opinion and I'm trying to argue with somebody and they're just disagreeing with me, but I'm like, they think they're 100% right too. So like if you're getting nowhere in an argument and like literally it's just only going farther downhill, what I learned to do is just say, you know what, let's just agree to disagree, because that's one thing we'll 100% agree with.
Yeah, and I think doing extracurricular activities like sports or the arts, stuff like that, theater, tech theater, if you want to get into actually like building sets and stuff, is that like those things, they introduce you to a new perspective that high school alone, just the core classes, will never let you be able to do. They'll never let you be able to understand what another person has for an idea. Like in theater, one person may think acting this way and having this mode of thought and all that kind of stuff, it's better than another way. And that other way might be just how you think. But it opens up new horizons for you about how people see the world and how to attack a task. Because you're forced to work as a team in those groups. To come together as a team with different perspectives, different ways of looking at the world, and accomplishing something that is greater than yourself. And I think that's a beautiful experience.
And high school has also taught me a lot about just people in general.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a lot of skills, but the one thing I'm very good at is communication. I know how to communicate. I'm trying to get a lot of psychological things going, but I can't really speak because I have no education behind it. I just kind of learned from my experiences.
Yeah.
So, one thing I realized, a lot of people, everybody says they're unique. Everybody says everybody is unique. But there's always there's always certain types of traits. So a lot of times you can find very similar people. Nobody's completely, not everybody's completely unique. Only very, very, very few are very, very unique.
Yeah. A lot of people share the same ideas.
Exactly.
I mean that's kind of the problem with cliques in high school. I'd say that our high school doesn't have too much of a clique problem.
Yeah.
Everyone is very much open with each other. I mean, I'm an athlete. You could say, oh, I'm a part of the jock thing, but I'm also kind of a nerd.
Yeah.
I love learning, and I love being in class sometimes and just learning about a new subject and going on my own and learning about that subject. And you'd be like, oh, that kid's a freaking nerd. Well, then on the other hand, I like to party and I like to enjoy, intoxicating substances and get fucked up every once in a while and be like, oh, that kid's just a druggy burnout that's going to do nothing in high school. And I see myself as this combination of so many different things, and then I look at high school, or our high school itself, and I'm just like, wow, everyone else is just like that.
Yeah.
Not exactly like me,
right.
They're special in their own way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's kids on the football team that have never done a bad thing in their life. They're goody two-shoes all the way through and through. And you look at him and you're like, okay, this is a smart kid. He's athletic and he'd never do a thing in his life. He might not be that smart. He might be a freaking genius. There's so much variety in our school that, I feel like Clear Lake High School is like, the school we go to is actually a good high school.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like one of my ex-girlfriends, my old ex-girlfriend in high school, but after when I first met her, when you first see her, you honestly do not think anything bad of her. You think she's just one really, really innocent person. But then I got to know her, and then I figured out she's a bit of a nymph, and she likes to party. It was weird. I was not expecting any of that.
Yeah.
And so, you can never really judge a book by its cover.
Never.
But one thing with people using that statement is, a lot of times, okay, what's the first thing you look at when you go to a restaurant? Like, let's say you're ordering the food. You don't, a lot of people don't think about it. Some people do, like I do. But for most people, they see a food and they're like, I want to eat that. That looks good to eat. And they don't say, like, oh, what's the taste like a lot of times. And that's a lot with people. A lot of people just look at somebody and they just automatically know the person magically somehow. I don't even know.
Yeah, they make this basal assumption about a person. It is kind of like a restaurant where you look at foods and you're like, oh, this food looks good. Oh, it has this in it. I've had this in the past. I know this is good.
Yeah.
Just from a basal assumption, looking at it from immediately, and you could have that food and it could be absolutely terrible.
Exactly.
Or you could look at this one thing that looks like dog food, and you look at the ingredients and you're like, oh, I've had that in one of my dinners before and it was terrible. But it turns out that's one of the best things you'll ever eat in your life, and you want to spend that the rest of your time eating that, for the rest of your life.
The dog food.
Marriage. And stuff. Marry your dog food. Damn liberals and their dog food marrying.
Liberal.
Liberal. But you should never judge a book by its cover. And for anyone who's still in high school right now listening to this, open up your horizons.
Really.
Just because they're not in the same, clique as you, or they're not in the same kind of, social class of high school, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't talk to them. You should talk to them so you can understand what other perspectives are like and what you can do to, make your life better and make their life better.
Right. Just
by having a greater human understanding.
And a lot of people don't think that. Like, for instance, I'm very alone, and I just feel like, I would be so quick to, if I see somebody, I don't think, I hate the person right just by the way they look. Well, actually, that's not true. Some people I'm just kind of scared of at the school just because they wear their dress. Like, there's a kid that always wears a hood. This is just me. I probably shouldn't be like this, but he just looks so angry all the time. I feel like he'd just rather be alone. I think that's probably the reason why.
He always will have a black hood.
Yes.
He's black.
Yeah, I mean, there's that kid every once in a while that you see. I mean,
but for me, I feel like I dress nice. I feel like I wouldn't be bad to talk to, but just some people are just like, I'm maybe they're shy or they're judging me automatically. I just feel like people should have a little bit more of an open case or an open book.
I mean, if you know a kid's an asshole and you've known him for the past 10 years, then there's no excuse for it. But there's kids that I've never talked to in my school, and sometimes the reason I never talked to them was just because they were just different in a weird way that I didn't really understand.
Yeah.
Like, there's this one kid who wears this bandana around his face all day, and I'm surprised a teacher hasn't messed with him yet. But obviously, because he hasn't really been messed with, or he's not been told to take it off, and he constantly wears it, there's something about that bandana that's special to him that we don't understand.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't have any classes with him, so I don't really have the opportunity to talk to him.
Are you talking about the kid who always wears that green jacket?
Yeah,
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, glasses and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is. I don't even know his name, but he has a story behind him, and it's probably an interesting story if you get to know him. But yeah. And I think that's probably the biggest benefit to high school, besides it getting you ready for the future,
right,
is that it lets you be a social person. It lets you understand how to be social. And some people struggle with that.
Yes.
Some people are just super shy. They get super anxious around other people.
Anxiety.
Anxiety. They need to pop a Xanax or whatever. I mean, that's what those medications are for. Lorazepam and stuff like that. But, they don't really survive very well in high school. But the best thing about high school is that for most people, they're able to understand other perspectives.
Yep.
They're forced into situations where they have to work with other people that they've never worked with before.
Especially the awkward kids. Especially.
Yeah.
Because they eventually grow. They form that question like, why? Why is this? Why is that?
Yeah.
Why can't I go talk to people and stuff like that?
Yeah. And
then they really start to observe and understand why, and they try to answer that question of theirs, and they form their own hypothesis.
They get their own understanding of the world, and they can see things from a different perspective. And the thing is that if we as people get to talk to other people who are shy, we can open them up as a person, and we can understand their own personal dilemmas.
Get them out of their turtle shell.
Get them out of their shell, or they can learn. Maybe they like to stay in their shell.
Yeah.
Maybe the real world just isn't for them.
Yeah.
And high school is just a big learning experience about like how you are as a person, how you will react to social situations, and if you're really ready to take on the real world. Not everyone is, but I feel like high school does do a good job of doing that.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like the moment I graduate, I will be prepared to take on the world. Not in every respect, but I'll be more prepared than if I was homeschooled. Definitely. I mean, without high school, I'd have pretty much no friends.
Yeah.
I'd be unfit. I'd have no motivation to really do anything.
And you wouldn't know how to, like, socialize.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to socialize, and I'd be too afraid to actually attack the world.
Yep.
And sometimes you just have to go out and grab the world by the balls and make it your bitch.
And I noticed, like, especially the kids that aren't shy and they're really comfortable, they don't put too much further thinking into things. Not all the time. I can't speak for everybody. No. But, for instance, one of my very close friends, he doesn't have trouble socializing or anything, but I've noticed he's not a free thinker. He very, very he just relies on his subconscious. Like, he doesn't put thinking to it. And I know this because he doesn't think very much, is because he could sleep through anything. For me, I think 24/7, it's hard for me. It takes a good 30 minutes for me to sleep just because my brain's just active. I either have to like a loud noise distracting me from thinking, or just...
Same for me. I have to be listening to music or
or I have to be a little intoxicated to fall asleep.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on when I'm intoxicated.
Yeah, right. But it's just all by his subconscious, and it always frustrates me because I have a lot of the times I have trouble socializing. But it's like, I feel like I'm not saying I'm better, but like I think and I observe and I'm more how can I say, like, I'm more analytical. I analyze things a lot more, and I really start to understand things, and I feel like I have a better understanding than he does of the real world. But tell me why he's happier than me and he's able to socialize way better than me. That's all with perspective, though. I feel like some people are always going to have sort of a good mind just for the socializing with people. And like you said earlier, maybe some people just realize people aren't their thing.
Yeah. Some people just aren't ready for social situations all the time. I feel like myself, I'm a very social person. I can make a friend in a minute.
Yeah.
Like, I've been on, I mean, my family is a little well off, not the most well off, but well off, pretty nice. And I've been on several cruises. And I was always able, within the first day, to make friends. And I see that skill as invaluable.
Yeah, very valuable.
It's the most essential tool that you need in life, in my opinion, is the ability to make friends quickly.
Yeah, see,
I realize be able to make allies quickly.
I realize that too. So I'm really trying to work on my social skills because I know, like, you like, for a good-looking person, it's so easy to make a friend. Like, for instance, one of my old close friends, just because he's good-looking, people are so much more like more willing to do stuff for him, like, and do a favor for him, just because he's good-looking.
Yeah,
I hate that. I really hate that. I'm more envy than hate him, but it's just
envy is a part of hate.
But and then there's other people that maybe aren't as good looking, but they know how to socialize really well, and they can make friends, and they'll do the same benefits for that good looking guy to the guy who's just really good at socializing. So I think it's a very good. I'm glad I learned that I really need to work on my social skills.
Yeah.
So I can get further in life and make good friends, and because there's always that one guy that says, "Oh, I know a guy," and maybe they actually do know a guy to get a certain cool thing. Cool thing or something. They always, all friends have benefits.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'll be honest. I have certain people as friends because they have some type of benefit.
Right. Yeah. Same here.
Actually, the entire purpose of having a friend is because they're beneficial to you and you're beneficial to them in some way. I mean, that's a very utilitarian, mathematical way of thinking of the universe. Yeah. It kind of makes it looks cold, but on a deeper human level, it's incredibly important. The reason I have friends is because they make my life better.
Yeah, and I hope happy. And
I hope the reason they're my friend, they see me as a friend to them, is because I make their life better. The reason I have a girlfriend is because I need someone to be romantic to, and I need someone to just dedicate myself to. Someone to hold me to a higher standard than that I would not do by myself. And I need someone to love. You know?
Yeah, and everybody, like, it's all human nature. Everybody, it's like eat, sleep, and bang.
Eat, sleep, bang.
But
Eat, sleep, bang, don't die.
don't die.
Just that should be our song, you know? Eat, sleep, bang, don't die.
That should be like our intro.
That should be, yeah, it should. But yeah, like, it's crazy how high school can prepare you in that way.
Yeah, and see, like this, I didn't like just learn it from the internet or anything. It's just all from observations and whatnot. Growing
as a human being.
Yeah.
In these social situations that you're basically forced to go into. It's as we said earlier, it's the biggest benefit to high school is learning how to be social.
Yeah, like really, the school part of high school. Honestly, high school is really easy if you, especially if you take regular classes. There's honestly no reason to fail unless you're just lazy or you're just really distracted.
Yeah.
Like I was at one point, but I realized I'm like, you know,
we all go through that.
Exactly. Though. It's so easy.
Yeah.
There's really no reason, and that's why I really like high school because it shows you the hard workers and the non-hard workers.
Yeah.
And
you can go through 2 years of high school, like. At the end of my sophomore year, I knew who was going to be a failure in life, and I knew who was going to succeed in life.
Yes. Just
from those 2 years of observation and talking and stuff like that. Like, I know because I have a further understanding of the world.
Yes.
That high school has broadened my horizons to. Because I can look at this one kid. Michael will immediately know who I'm talking about. Adrian will probably immediately know who I'm talking about. This kid played football freshman year. He tried to play his junior year, but kind of like stopped caring. And he had talent. He was a really damn good center, and he could snap the ball like it was a fucking rocket. It was amazing how well he could shotgun snap and how well he could deep snap. I legitimately thought he might have been on varsity his sophomore year just because of how well he could snap. Just on that alone. And he was a big dude. He was probably 6'2".
Yeah, he's
6'3" maybe. Big beefy guy. A lot of potential. And he threw it all away because he didn't care about school. He gave very little shits about school. All he wanted to really do was get fucked up.
And have that so-called life.
Yeah, get that kind of life.
Yeah.
You know, the party life.
Yeah.
You know, banging random chicks without rubbers. Because, you know, she's intoxicated out of her mind and you're fucked up out of your mind too.
Yep.
Because you just smoked fucking 4 blunts and kicked back a couple beers. And
see, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you just gotta learn how to control yourself. You can't be doing that every weekend.
The thing about this kid is that, like, he didn't do it like once a month.
Yeah, he had no
once
self-control.
every few months. He had no self-control. He did it all the time. He got high all the time.
And see, and that's what I was getting back to what I said earlier, like how I said I'm not gonna have fun until I'm old enough to. Like, if he would have just thought that, like, he could have made it in the NFL. If he could have.
I don't know about the NFL.
Well, anyway,
he could have made it to college ball.
Exactly, and that's college pay for, especially if you had a scholarship.
Yeah.
That sets out his life so easily. If only he just didn't do that. Like, and it's so easy. Football players have it, in my opinion, one of the easiest ways of having a future.
Yeah.
But, like, I know physical work is very hard and whatnot. I know you guys.
It takes a special type of body.
Yeah, really. So, I'm not saying it doesn't take skill to work in, but it's very easy. You don't have to. It's all physical work, and you have. I guarantee you, every
mental,
football.
It's very mental too.
And a lot of football players love what they do. They love it.
There's something about getting on the field, all padded up, taped up around your fucking knees and your ankles,
like, in a way, like,
and then you knock the fucking shit out of a motherfucker.
So, and they get paid and they get all this money to do what they love to do.
Yeah.
And he could have had that if he wanted to.
And the thing about this kid is that he's not dumb. He made a bunch of dumb decisions, but he's not dumb. He's not an idiot. He's a smart kid. I can see it. I could see the potential he had to make straight A's, to even get into college level classes in high school, because he did have that intelligence behind him. He just didn't have the drive.
Yep.
And high school proved that for him.
Yep.
High school, for him, was hard, and it still is hard, because he's not dedicated to what he's done, or to what he does, and he's not dedicated to anything besides getting himself fucked up all the time.
Yep.
He has no drive for the real world, and he has no drive to make himself a better person. And it's sad. It's really disappointing. I see that with another kid who was going to be a track star. That kid was going to get a full ride. This big, tall-ass motherfucker who I cared about him a lot. And to be honest, I kind of led him astray. I felt like I was a part of it, and I felt like Max, one of our friends, was a part of it, and I felt like a couple other people were a part of it. That Isaiah kid from earlier. And we led him astray, in my opinion, and he couldn't handle himself. I could, because I knew how to time manage. And he asked me one day, he's like, how are you able to do this? How are you able to make good grades and still, get messed up on, get messed up all the time? And I told him, well, I don't get messed up all the time. I don't.
Yeah. Yep. Because you have self-control. Good discipline. A lot of people don't have discipline.
You have to be disciplined in what you do. I mean, whether it's drugs, whether it's football, whether it's just fucking video games, whether it's jerking off. It could be any of those things. You have to be disciplined. If all you care about in the world is watching sports on ESPN all day long, doing the stats and shit, but you don't care about doing your English homework, you don't care about finishing that science project, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do in life.
You just got to remember priorities.
You got to, it's time management. You have to know there's a time and a place for everything. It's just how it is.
Yep. But one thing I like about high school, like I do appreciate the people in a way. It's kind of mean, but the people who drop out and everything, because imagine if everybody was successful and everybody had everybody has a potential, but everybody had a job.
Potential.
Who would do all the small jobs?
Yeah. There
them.
needs to be the ditch diggers. There needs to be the waiters. Now, you could say, oh, well, it's the high schoolers, on their spare time during the weekends or after school, they can work. No.
And, what about garbage men?
That doesn't work. Yeah, garbage men. But the people who would argue about that, oh, well, those are entry-level jobs that, high schoolers will do.
Yeah.
No. I'm in high school right now. I have 3 jobs right now. That's legitimately what I have. And you might see it as, oh, no, you just have your one job at that restaurant. But no, I have 3. I'm a football player, I'm a student, and I'm a waiter. Those are my 3 jobs. And in another way, I have a 4th job. I'm dedicated to my girlfriend. And I have to take time out of my day, every day, to dedicate that time to her. To make her know that I care about her and that I want to treat her right.
And you still find time for school.
And you still have to find time for school, and you still have to find time for hobbies.
Yeah.
It's about time management, and it's also just like all that not everyone can do. I think I'm a little bit special in that way. I got a big ego. Whatever. Fuck it.
And ego's very good to have. Ego's very good.
Yeah. I think having a big ego is a good thing to have, as long as you understand that you have that ego.
Yeah, and I noticed a lot of people that notice somebody that seems weak in a way, like doesn't have an ego and can't justify themselves. A lot of the times they'll take advantage of you, just because they know they can.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to defend yourself. It's sad that we have to do that, but it's how it is.
Yeah. I mean,
it should be that way. If everybody was didn't judge a book by its cover, it wouldn't be like that. Everybody was more open-minded for somebody, it wouldn't be like that.
I mean, if the world was a more open-minded place, I don't think we'd be having this conversation.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Which is a very sad thing to say.
Yes.
But it's the world we live in, and, there's people who are closed-minded.
And the amazing part about this, and this is all just from high school. I really like high school.
Yeah.
We're learning all this just from high school.
Yeah. And, I'm turning 18 next month. I'm turning 18 in less than half a month, actually. In my less than 18 years of life, I've learned so much about humans. I've learned so much about the universe. I've learned so much about how people are, how the world works, and how to live my life the best way I can. I've learned so much. And a lot of people look at it like, oh, well, you're just a high schooler, you don't understand the world. Well,
I hate that so
I think
much.
I do understand the world.
Yeah,
Not completely. No one will ever understand the world completely.
right.
It's impossible to have all knowledge at once because, brain would explode.
I hate to be said or told, you don't know anything, you're just a kid. I hate that. And like my dad, he's not a good dad. Let's say, so he's very childish. Like, let's say his parents still pay for his car insurance, and he's my father, and he calls me a child, and he always he just says, you're just a child, you don't know anything. But I always just want to explode on him about the knowledge I've gained just from high school and people around me, just from observations I've seen from people. But you also got to learn how to just kind of hold back, and sometimes it's just not worth the argument.
It's not every battle is worth fighting.
Exactly.
And I think that's also something you definitely learn in high school. Just because a person pisses you off, that doesn't mean you have to deck him in the face.
Right.
You gotta choose your battles. I've never been in a fight before because I've always weighed out the options, and I've told myself it's not worth it.
Yeah, I don't see fighting fit unless it's in defense, and that's about it. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't like fighting. Communication is so important to me.
Just use your fucking mouth.
Yeah, like if you notice somebody just can't use their brain to win an argument, just don't even don't even fight.
It's not worth it.
It's not.
It's amazing how important it is just to talk.
Yes, you can.
And it's something I've definitely learned throughout my years in school, and it's something that a lot of kids that I've talked to don't know about.
Yeah.
In my biology class last year, there was this one girl. She was kind of a crazy nympho freak. A good girl. She was a year younger than me, and her mind was always on about boys. Always about, this one boy. Oh, there's this new boy 2 weeks later. Oh, my old boyfriend back from intermediate school. Oh, back to this kid over there. Blah, blah, blah. But the thing is that she could never keep a solid relationship.
Yep.
She could never keep a stable relationship, or even make one in the first place for a lot of those guys because she didn't know how to talk.
Yep.
She would come to me for advice because she saw me as this paradigm of greatness because I had a stable relationship that's still going on to right now, and I'm very happy for it. It's almost gone 9 months, and that's freaking crazy.
9 months?
9 months? 10 months. No, it's going on 10 months. Crap.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 months. Long relationship, and she sees me, and she saw me as this this perfect boyfriend that could be, and that has all this relationship advice. And since I was older than her, she thought I had more wisdom about
and
the
that's
world.
not all the time true.
No, it's definitely not.
My friend, he was saying well, I'm pretty sure this guy is wiser than you just because he's older. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not perceptive through age. It's perceptive through just living and observing.
It's experience.
It's experiences.
But
right.
she saw me as this experienced man who. I've only had 3 relationships in my life.
Yeah.
The first one lasted a little over 100 days, which is, it's sad that I know that.
Was it in middle school?
No, it was with Nat.
Really?
Yeah, my first girlfriend was sophomore year.
What was the second one?
It lasted about a week.
Oh, okay.
She's a sophomore now.
Okay.
She's crazy and she has psychological problems.
Okay.
People who know me might know who I'm talking about. But this is my 3rd relationship, and I think I've struck gold, to be honest. This might just be stupid young kid me, but
that's all not true.
I think I've struck gold.
My economics teacher, he married his high school girlfriend.
Yeah. 2 of my coaches married their high school girlfriends.
Yeah.
It could be great. But this girl, my last year, the sophomore, I was just talking about, couldn't get a stable relationship. Her main problem is that she just didn't talk to the guy or the guys, whoever she was interested in at the time. She would come up to me. She would explain her situation, explain what happened the night before, 2 days before, and she would talk to me and she would ask for advice. And all I would say to her, because it's really the only advice I could give at the situation, was talk to them, speak to them. Tell the kid that you care about him. Tell the kid why you like him. Tell him what you want to go on further with.
Yeah, a lot of that, with my friend, he always argued with his dad, and they always fought and whatnot. I'm like, I don't fight with my parents anymore because I find so many ways to just get around it. you don't need to let people know that you're right. Like, when you're arguing, a lot of times you just want to tell them what they want to hear, because if you can't get anywhere with somebody and you still want to, like, keep your relationship with them, you'll just tell them what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And, because there's nothing
that
wrong.
might
like,
not be the most stable thing, but it can help keep stability for some time.
Right. And, eventually you'll grow, like, let's say if you just completely disagree with the person, you just eventually leave them if you want to do.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to, it's just some small little thing, just tell them what they want to hear. And if you're right, who cares? If you try and make them feel like, if they're not understanding enough to know that you're right,
or that you just hold a different opinion about
exactly.
Because you might not be right, but you think you're right.
Yeah.
That's the thing about perspective, is that from your perspective, like Michael said, everything is 100% right, even if you're 100% wrong.
Yep. So...
You just have to understand their other situation.
Right.
I mean, a little proud thing that I like to boast about, just a tiny bit, because once again, I'm an egocentric asshole. In this almost 10 months of a relationship, I have not had a single fight with my girlfriend. Not one. You want to know how? I talk to her.
In communication.
Communication is the biggest thing ever. I talk to her before something gets out of hand. If she can tell that there's something that I'm upset about something, she talks to me. If I can tell there's something that she's upset about, I talk to her. Something about just talking through a situation will forever prevent that building up into an argument that will end a relationship. Whether it's a romantic relationship with a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or it's a friend relationship.
And, like, you gotta realize, like, a lot of times, there's no need to yell or raise your voice. You can just communicate and just talk.
Just talk.
I told my dad, like, you argue like you would in court. You don't scream and yell and cuss in court. You're there for business. You're trying to get an answer out of something. You're trying to find out blah, blah, blah.
You're trying to understand their perspective.
Right.
And you're trying to prove a point.
Yes.
You don't prove a point if you're being an asshole.
Right.
Like, if you're going to be an asshole about stuff, and you're just going to be a complete dick about stuff, you're not going to win an argument, you're not going to get the other person to understand your perspective, and you're not going to succeed in life. If you're going to be a little tiny asshole that cries like a little bitch, it's not going to work, you know?
Yep.
It's just not going to work. And there's the wind again. I hope y'all guys can deal with all the wind that's in the background. We are, once again, in a beautiful forest here in Texas. The most wonderful shit state there is. Definitely better than Florida.
H-Town.
H-Town. But yeah, I think we said a lot today.
Yeah, we did.
Especially Adrian. Adrian talked the most.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he did.
Very much.
Very much. Yeah, I think we had a really great conversation, guys, and I think we should wrap up the podcast. Let's talk about what we're probably going to be doing the next week. Michael, what are your plans for the week?
School.
School, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, school's obvious for all of us, but anything special you think is going to happen, or just normal all weekend?
Yeah, just a normal week.
Just a normal week?
No, a normal week. Weekends is what I look forward to.
Yeah.
Like, but it's
you doing anything tomorrow?
Probably not.
Probably not, just chill?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's my sister's weekend, so I'll probably hang out with her a little bit.
Alright, cool. Gonna do anything special, or just hang out?
Just get high when I go to sleep, that's about it.
Alright.
I just go in the restroom and do there.
Adrian, you got any big plans for the weekend?
Fuck no.
Pornhub.
Pornhub.
Fuck bitches get money.
Pornhub sadly does not sponsor us, but if Pornhub is listening, we will fap so hard to your shit.
And sponsor us.
Please sponsor us. Please. RedTube, X-Hamster.
Tubebait. Tubebait, YouPorn.
Oh my god.
YouPorn. Really anything, you know. JiggleTits.com. Ebony MILF assholes, you know, anything, you know. Please sponsor us. But yeah, I have a project to do for my aquatic science class, and
I have homework.
And I have football practice, and I plan to just chill and
football practice tomorrow?
No, on Monday.
Oh, okay.
And try not to re-break my finger. Oh yeah, I have a broken finger, and it fucking sucks.
Are you still gonna be able to play?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they just what's gonna happen is that it's my left ring finger, and basically what's wrong with it is that the part of the bone, it's near the end of it, of my middle finger, or the middle bone of my hand. The part of the bone that's broke off is attached to the tendon and muscle that makes that lets me move my finger around. And the thing is that if it doesn't heal correctly, I'm gonna need surgery, which is bullshit. So fuck you, that one coach that doesn't know how to throw a goddamn ball, because the finger broke because it got jammed from catching a ball. God damn it. But yeah. So hopefully it goes good. Plan to spend the day with my girl tomorrow. And yeah, I think that about wraps up our week. If you enjoyed our podcast, please subscribe for more.
Comment.
Comment. Please like our shit. You know the whole YouTube, SoundCloud, all the other shit. I do recommend, if y'all have a topic that you'll let us rant and digress upon, please put it in the comments. If you have any criticisms of our podcast, please put it in the comments.
Love to argue.
Oh, we love to argue.
So I will love a good argument.
But
please don't be one of those arguments that are just completely
bullshit.
Yeah, and they just don't make sense. Like y'all are gay or something like that.
Yeah, like
I will not waste my time with a good argument with one of you people.
Yeah, trolls are trolls. I will.
But if you could provide a legitimate argument, I love.
If you disagree with anything that we've said today, please talk about it in the comments. Put a timestamp so we can listen to it again and we can understand your perspective. Because once again, part of the Elated Egos podcast is to understand each other's perspectives on the world and understand each other's egos. So yeah, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. Love you guys. Have a great day.